Okay, so it's some time later after that time lapse. I basically had to wait on this showing up, and this is a total guess if this will work. So I got this fuel sock, and let's see, here's the part number for it. Now, the whole reason I get a different fuel sock was the factory setup uses this entire section right here with an O-ring to pull suction into the pump. As you can see, the pump design is a lot bigger of a hole. This is a low pressure pump. This is like, I don't know, if I had to guess, like 90 liters per hour or something like that. This one is a 255. I just buy them because they're super generic and easy. Now, as you can see, the inlet is nowhere near the same size. So this O-ring design, not going to work. So based on the angle this needed to sit at, as you can see like this, I ordered this, and I'm going to see if it'll work. To me, looks like that might work. So let me go ahead and try to get this on here. Bottom. Is there anything needed to install this? Take this grommet out. Pop this on. Cool. Looks like that will work. Now let's hope that for my fuel requirements with this pump that these pins won't burn up. This wire is like, if I had to guess, 16 gauge, 18 gauge-ish. So I'm going to call this good. I'll go ahead and install a submersible tank rated fuel line right here and call this good to go. At least I think so. It may not work. Who knows? Let's find out. Okay, and this is what I ended up with. So there's the sock fully installed. Let's see, with the 255. I'm not sure if these are the right size hoses that I'm using. This is a 3/8 hose, and those might be 5/16. I don't know. Hose clamps completely clamped down, so it should be pretty tight. And so I'm ready to throw this sucker back in, but it looks like you can just use a newer style pump on like an older car with this style sock, at least for the Daytona. So I'm going to get this installed and see how it works. Alright, so I just got the 255 Walbro knockoff dropped in there. And now what I'm going to be in the process of doing is replacing this fuel line. So if you're doing a TBI or carbureted or anything like that to fuel injected, you have to swap these hoses out because they're only rated to like 20 psi or so. Some up to 50, so you might be able to get away with it if someone's replaced it. But in general, these will blow up because your fuel pressure is going to be up to like 60 psi sometimes, if not more, depending on how you have your regulator set up. So it's best to replace these before they blow up. Now what I'm doing is pulling off the old ones, which I think I replaced these with newer hose a couple years ago, but once again, they're not fuel injected rated. So what I'm going to do is basically use this as a template for this big old spool right here I have. So I got this off Rock Auto. It was like $1.50 a foot for fuel injected hose. This is 5/16. So on these cars, the G bodies, at least for I know 89 and similar ones. I don't know about the T3 cars, but the
fuel return, I believe, is a 1/4 inch, and the fuel feed, which is going to be this one right here, going to this right here, is a 5/16. So I'm going to replace these, and then up front, whenever I get to drop the motor in, I will replace the ones going into the fuel rail, because those will also need replaced because they're also basically carb rated, and when you're running lots of pressure, gotta replace that stuff out.
Okay, so here is the car with the fuel pump installed. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. So, car is on the off position. Car is on. Here's the pump initiate, and good to go. So that's an easy way to install a 255 Wolbro in your pre-90 style G-body for 25 bucks plus a little hose. So about $50 all together, maybe. You get a much bigger pump that has a higher pressure and all that, and should be as reliable. I guess we'll see. I've had these style pumps in my other cars for over 3 years, and one finally died after 3 years of beating the crap out of it and running it way too low. So not bad for 25 bucks, but we'll see how it goes. Have a good one.